Welcome to this class on the topic of leadership. In this class we'll look at some of the ideas about leadership and see how important it is. This is one class amongst many that will be offered on the course. To start, leadership is the human trait that motivates groups to achieve some goal. And the need for leadership spans history. It's always been with us. Great leaders have emerged right throughout history. Sometimes there were military leaders, sometimes there were political leaders. They have emerged right throughout history and have guided the course of history. And that's what we really want to talk about. We want to find out what are the characteristics of those leaders and to what extent do people in business reflect that type of leadership pattern. Just having money or authority does not make people into leaders. There's more to it than just that sort of power, money power. There is something else that creates this class of person that becomes the leader. There's something else that makes them leaders other than simply saying money or some sort of power that was bequeathed them perhaps within their family. Leaders are orientated to the future. They don't deal with the present. Leaders are looking to how to do the next thing, how to change something, how to reorder resources in a way that will be more efficient or to achieve something in the future. Current leaders influence the future. So I suppose to that end we could see politicians as being involved with what is now. And according to this definition, or the way we're discussing it here, that means current politicians are not leaders. They are dealing with the here and the now. Whereas leaders are looking to the future. Leaders are concerned with long-term developments. And these developments are of people and institutions that adapt and prosper and grow. So leaders are future looking, they're forward looking. Leadership is important in all our dealings with people. It's not just in business or in politics or in the armed forces or whatever. Leaders emerge in all walks of life, and followers benefit from the leadership. So leaders just emerge within groups of people, and the group benefits from that leader because the leader has a good idea and is able to inspire the others and able to motivate the others to achieve that objective. Without leaders, nothing would happen. Someone must initiate the work or the process. If we didn't have leaders, we would just simply sit around, not doing anything. So we need some people to motivate the rest. And a leader motivates, directs, and inspires the workforce. That's how things get done. That's how things happen. If we didn't have leaders, we would probably still be sitting in caves. According to Mullins, very simple definition, leadership is the relationship through which one person influences the behavior or actions of other people. Simple. It's just a simple description of what leadership is. And the concept of leadership in groups or teams are connected. Clearly a leader must have a group. You can't be a leader on your own. So there must be a group dimension to it. So we are dealing here essentially in the background with groups and the emergence of the leader within the group. Leaders are effective and task oriented, so the group benefits from the leader and they go with the leader. Now according to Fiedler and Chambers, the leader is someone who is a little larger than life, somebody who's got a presence, difficult to define. One who draws people to him or her like a magnet by charisma. They have this extra dimension. They're interesting people, so others want to know them. He or she is the person that others want to follow, because the person is seen as different, and he or she inspires the rest. The one who commands their trust and respect, as well as their loyalty. So when a leader emerges, people trust the leader, respect the leader, and therefore give loyalty to the leader. A leader is one who guides and directs other people and gives their effort direction and purpose. Without a leader, it's reasonable to assume that we'd all be pulling in different directions, all doing different things. Nothing constructive or nothing focused would happen. We must see the quality of a leader as the capacity to influence thoughts and actions of his or her followers in a direction which would enable the organizational goal to be achieved with the utmost efficiency and economy. That's the idea. The idea is that the leader can get people to follow in one direction and thereby deliver the product with efficiency. This is the famous diamond model, which is put forward to discuss leaders, and it's appropriate that we look at it here. That's the so-called diamond. It looks a bit like a square, but it's considered to be a diamond. It's got different ideas associated with each of the corners: ethics, vision, courage, reality, and in the center we've got greatness. So let's look at these in turn. So we'll start by talking about the vision. Well, a leader must have vision or goal or a direction and the means to achieve the goal. If you haven't got a vision, nothing will happen. There is an old Arabic expression that says, you may travel all night, but if you don't know where you're going, you'll never get there. Reality. The leader must be a realistic person. They must have a realistic perspective on the goal and the constraints in its achievement. It's pointless just saying we will do it and disregard the constraints, because clearly the constraints are going to influence the achievement of the goal. So the leader must have a rounded picture of not just the goal, but also the constraints that are going to affect its achievement. There must be some ethical dimension to the leader. The leader must take into account the feelings of others, the sensitivity of other people. It's not just good enough to say that they've got a bright idea and pursue the idea to the cost of everybody else or to many other people. So there must be an ethical dimension in the whole discussion. And the leader will be criticised for the idea, criticised for his or her handling of the project or whatever. So they must have courage, and they must be able to take risk and suffer the slings and arrows that may follow if the risk goes bad. They must be able to take the risk and stand behind their decision and justify their decision. If we were to summarize a lot of what we've been talking about, we get a list like this one. I'm not going to go through it in great detail, but lots of areas in the literature talk about leadership as the planner, the policy maker, the expert, the external group representative, somebody who represents the group to the outside world, the arbitrator and the mediator, the people who resolve conflict within groups, the implementer, the person who does it, the father figure. Everybody looks up to this person so the person can follow. and the person becomes the symbol of the group. These are just words, but they're words associated with leadership, and it's reasonable to have these as a part of our dictionary in terms of leadership, in terms of our word power. These describe the leader. Now, what are the fundamental differences between management and leadership? Well, a manager administers and a leader motivates. The leader is the one who pushes forward. The manager fixes the situation now. A manager maintains. It maintains the capital, or it maintains the process. A leader develops it, sees new opportunities, tries to get new ideas into the business or into the organization. A manager focuses on systems and structures. A leader tends to focus on people and see what resources they've got and what needs to be done, who can do it, what's the best way to do it. A manager relies on control. A leader inspires trust. People follow the leader. A good leader is one that is followed freely. A bad leader, I suppose, is one who forces people to follow him or her. And in history there have been examples of that. A manager keeps an eye on the bottom line. Excuse me. The bottom line is what must be done. A leader has an eye on where the business can go. The leader is looking forward so they can plan into the future. A manager does things right, and the leader does the proverbial right things. So there are differences between the two. This is a fairly general introduction to leadership. It introduces us to words. It introduces to words associated with leadership, and it introduces us to the diamond model, and it also talks about some of the general issues associated with leadership, for example, leadership and management, as we've just done. So I think that just about concludes this video. So thank you for watching.